Hi, this is just a quick update on what to expect this weekend and into Monday. On Sunday, February 8th, Super Bowl 60 will be played in Santa Clara, California. And since this is a West Coast game, the local time in the Middle East will already be February 9th. As promised, I will share some information on notable events signaled through predictive programming that may occur over the next few days. Before I start, remember, I am only sharing what I see. I am not a prophet, I am not giving a prophecy, I am simply sharing my observations, and I could be wrong. Over the past 2 decades, we have seen several instances where predictive programming appeared to inform the public of major planned events before they occurred. This method of signaling information in plain sight without people realizing what they are actually looking at is well established. In the iPco 2 animation, several elements suggest major plans unfolding over the next 2 weeks. To get this video out before the Super Bowl, I will focus only on what is shown in relation to the Super Bowl itself. In this scene, we see a woman dressed in a Muslim hijab, mourning her son. Over the past several weeks, reports suggest that Iranians have been rising up against the IRGC and have been mowed down by the regime in the thousands. Or at least that is the information being presented to the public. This matches the scene of the Muslim woman mourning her son. Before all this, Trump promised to intervene if the IRGC used deadly force against the citizens of Iran, and with thousands perishing, a strong reason for a massive military buildup in the Middle East was established. The next detail to note is the shape of the Lombardi Trophy hidden in the woman's posture. This suggests that the events shown in this scene may be connected to a Super Bowl, or timed to coincide with the date on which a Super Bowl takes place. We already saw what could have been a trial run in 2023, when several chemical releases occurred, including the catastrophic chemical spill in East Palestine, which also coincided with the Super Bowl that year. This could be symbolized by the purple bottle of poison the woman is holding in her hand. However, not all aspects of this image have played out yet. To the right, we see a shape closely resembling the bow of an aircraft carrier in the process of sinking. The USS Abraham Lincoln recently arrived in the Indian Ocean, within striking distance of Tehran. Iran has reportedly flown surveillance drones toward the carrier, and one was shot down. If you look carefully, there even appears to be a side profile resembling that of Abraham Lincoln in the image, likely indicating which carrier the powers that be may plan to sink, to trigger events that could spiral out of control within about 3 weeks. The sinking carrier is not only visible in this scene, it also appears in another scene where 3 stealth bombers drop bombs on a mosque. Although a mosque resembling this image is located in Ukraine, an attack on Iran would most likely be the intended target considering the current situation, and as the US's response to the sinking of a massive aircraft carrier. There are more clues in this image of 3 stealth bombers that we need to consider. Just before this scene, we see a brainless boy with ticker tape across his eyes reading "Markets plunge," followed by "War coverage." This past week, the markets have indeed plunged, and trillions were wiped out from the crypto market as well as from gold and silver. What follows is war coverage, and the start of that war appears timed to coincide with the Super Bowl on Sunday, when an aircraft carrier is shown to sink. There is another clue hidden in this scene that may indicate whose plan this is and who is behind these events. In this shot of the bombers from below, you can count the lights under each bomber and see the number 322. This number is associated with the Skull and Bone Society from Yale University, of which several US presidents were members. There's also another Super Bowl disaster scene where the same number appears once again. We see that in a clip from Batman: The Dark Knight Rises. When the Skull and Bones number appears in 2 separate Super Bowl related disaster scenes, it strongly suggests predictive programming, plans laid out in plain sight, with most people unaware of what they are being shown. In the background of this image, we also see a nuclear explosion. One could argue that the sinking of the Abraham Lincoln, if it were to happen at the time of the Super Bowl, would clearly be part of a larger deliberate plan intended to create a social cataclysm, the intent of which is to open the door to the Antichrist, who would introduce the world to the light of Lucifer in the days that follow. More on this in the next video. This purpose was first described by Albert Pike, who wrote a letter to his friend Mazzini in 1871. outlining a plan for 3 world wars. He said the following about the final world war. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and political Zionism mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. We do not have long to wait to see whether anything happens. Remember, I'm only showing you what I see. I could be wrong, or these events could be scheduled for a future Super Bowl. Although everything happening in the world right now seems to be pointing to this weekend. I will end this video here and will share the next one as soon as this video reaches 5,000 likes. The previous video had a goal that was a little high, so I'm lowering it to 5,000 on this one. If you would like me to share more insight on the events that may follow the Super Bowl, if anything happens, then comment more below. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell, because then you will be notified when the next video comes out. My channel is not monetized, and the reason I ask you to like the video and to comment is simply to help to get this message out to more people. If war begins during the Super Bowl, then we must prepare for what happens on March 3rd, and the other events that I will cover in the next video will very likely also play out. In my previous video, I go into a little more detail about the importance of March 3rd if you haven't seen that yet. Because it's not only the evil people that point to specific dates, but also the creator of the universe. Until next time, or until we meet in the air, God bless.